What's up? I'm Josh. I'm the videographer for CHRISTAFARI'S, and this is the Roatan Belize tour recap. So we started our trip in LAX, and from there we flew into Roatan with a few stops and a lot of dancing along the way. The flights were long but went pretty smooth. Straight off the flight, Talia and I were picked up from the airport and drove to meet up with the rest of the band. From there we got to know the island of Roatan. We hung out with iguanas, played with some monkeys, held a few sloths. We really got to experience everything that Roatan had to offer. This day was also a very important day, but for a very different reason.
Okay, let the world know what's going on.
What's going on?
It's my birthday.
Yeah! What is it?
We started our first full day in Roatan off right, with ministry.
What's up?
We had the opportunity to meet Pastor David, the local pastor of the church Hot Point Chapel in the Bight, which is an extremely impoverished part of the island. The community welcomed us with many smiles as we worshiped side by side with our brothers and sisters in Christ. Church concluded with a feed program that we were able to be a part of to reach those in need with simple provisions of rice and beans. Later that day, we held our very first concert of the tour in a community called Oakridge. This concert was used as an opportunity to raise funds for a house that was literally being overtaken by the ocean. Not only that, but this was also the very first Christian outreach in the community. We had so much fun singing and dancing with everyone. Not only that, but we were able to share the gospel, and we saw lives changed and hearts touched. Our next concert was at the largest festival on the island of Roatan, called the Festival of Angels. This was a benefit for Clinica Esperanza and the Soul Foundation. So many people came out to this concert and were dancing along to our songs. Even people who you would never imagine would come to a CHRISTAFARI'S concert. It's through this opportunity that all these people were able to hear the good news and ultimately accept God into their heart. This event ended with a huge fireworks show. Our third and final concert in Roatan was a blast. We had Abby, a local missionary and musician, open up the night for us with a few songs. Although there weren't many people in attendance, this performance was being broadcasted all across television in Roatan, Honduras, and Guatemala. We had so much fun singing and dancing with everyone, but more importantly, praising God, giving Him all the glory, and turning hearts towards Him. We were even able to spend some quality time with CJ, a local in Roatan that our keyboard player has been discipling. So the next morning we got to the airport and said goodbye before we got on our flight. So we got on the plane and took 2 quick flights over to Belize. Then we got on the bus and had an awesome Bible study led by Pastor Mark. After a few hours of driving, we finally got to the venue, where we were able to help set up for our concert the next morning. We had our sound check to make sure everything would run smoothly for tomorrow's assembly. So the next morning, we were able to perform in front of almost 1,000 high schoolers in Dangriga, Belize. We had so much fun. We squirted them with squirt guns, we rode the crowd. Most importantly, we shared the gospel with them. Every band member was able to share their personal testimony through a cardboard sign, just like in the He Is Greater Than I music video. Band members were able to just open up and speak what was on their heart and be real with what they were struggling with, and to connect with the high schoolers and lead them to Christ. The next night we invited everyone, not just the high schoolers, but their families, their friends, to come out to experience this concert. next morning, we were able to do another high school outreach in Belize City. We were able to sing and dance with the high schoolers, but not only that, we were able to share our testimonies again. The women in our group were able to open up and get real. They got to share their stories and their struggles and really just connect with the high schoolers. Through this opportunity, hearts were touched and hands were raised for God. The next couple nights, we got to perform at BTL Park in Belize City. Tons of people came out to these outreach events, and it was so much fun. Avion shared her personal testimony of her hardships in the past, dealing with loss. Pastor Mark shared the undiluted gospel with this huge crowd of people, and ultimately, hearts were changed, lives were touched, and hands were raised for God. While in Belize, we were able to visit the Mayan ruins. While we were there, we snapped a few band pictures.
Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine.
We wrapped up in Belize City and were ready to take off to San Pedro Island. It was a super quick flight. After we landed, some of the band members got to get interviewed for a radio station called Lighthouse Christian Radio. Here they were able to share what the band is all about and even some of their own personal stories. The next morning we got to visit a preschool called Brighter Tomorrow Preschool. We got to hang out and dance with the kids. Not only that, but we were able to share the gospel with them in a way that they could understand. We had some fun on the golf carts while we were at San Pedro Island.
Let's go!
What is this? Julia! What are you doing?
After that, we had our final concert at San Pedro Island. It's thanks to Pastor Ian to help make this concert possible. We came out not knowing where we were going to play or if we even could play. We walked in faith. But God made it happen. He provided a stage, sound, lights, and the concert was awesome. We had so much fun and we saw lives changed, hearts touched, and hands raised for God. This was such an amazing tour. We had so much fun and it was amazing to see all these lives reached. Thanks to you guys. If you feel called to join our monthly partnership team, please visit CHRISTAFARI.com/donate. Thanks for sending us.